Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to an extraordinary journey into the heart of one of the most fascinating economies on the planet. Today we're exploring Monaco, a tiny Mediterranean micronation that defies all expectations and redefines what it means to be wealthy. At just 2 square kilometers, Monaco is smaller than most city parks, yet it consistently tops global economic rankings in ways that make it a statistical marvel. It's the wealthiest nation per capita, has the highest average age of its citizens, and boasts the most expensive real estate prices anywhere in the world. If you've ever wondered how a place this small can wield such economic power, you're in for a treat. Over the next hour and a half, we'll unravel the secrets behind Monaco's prosperity, debunk common myths, and uncover the ingenious systems that make this nation a magnet for billionaires, a haven for luxury, and a case study for economists. We'll explore its unique taxation model, its reliance on tourism, and the lifestyle that draws the world's elite to its shores. Along the way, we'll dive into the history of this remarkable place, compare it to other global economies, and even imagine what it's like to live in a country where wealth and prestige are part of everyday life. So buckle up and let's dive into the glittering world of Monaco. Let's start by setting the stage. Monaco is a sovereign city-state nestled on the French Riviera, just a short drive from Nice and a stone's throw from the south of France. Covering a mere 2 square kilometers, about 500 acres, it's smaller than New York's Central Park or London's Hyde Park. To put that in perspective, you could walk from one end of Monaco to the other in about 20 minutes. Yet, within this tiny footprint, Monaco has built an economy that rivals those of nations hundreds of times its size. It's a place where the streets are lined with luxury boutiques, the harbor is filled with super yachts, and the skyline is dotted with gleaming skyscrapers. But what makes Monaco so special? Why does this speck on the map dominate global economic rankings? To answer that, let's look at one of the most striking indicators of Monaco's success, the United Nations Human Development Index, or HDI. The HDI is a tool designed to measure the quality of life in a country, taking into account factors like life expectancy, education, and per capita income. It assigns each nation a score between 0 and 1, with higher scores indicating better living conditions. For context, a highly developed country like Norway, often hailed as a model of prosperity, scores an impressive 0.953. That's near the top of the scale. By contrast, a less developed nation, like the Democratic Republic of the Congo, scores around 0.457, reflecting significant challenges in health, education, and economic opportunity. Now, where does Monaco fit into this picture? Brace yourself. Monaco's HDI is an astonishing 1.021. That's right, it exceeds the maximum score on a scale that's supposed to cap at 1. This isn't just a statistical quirk. It's a testament to Monaco's extraordinary wealth and quality of life. The nation's residents enjoy some of the longest life expectancies in the world, access to top-tier education, and an average income that dwarfs most other countries. Monaco doesn't just compete in these rankings, it breaks the scales entirely. So, what's going on here? How does a country smaller than most suburban neighborhoods achieve such unparalleled economic success? Is it just a playground for the rich and famous, a glorified parking lot for super yachts, or a nation built around a casino? Or is there more to the story? Today, we're going to peel back the layers and explore the truth behind Monaco's economy. We'll examine its taxation system, its reliance on tourism, and why it's a haven for the world's elite. We'll also debunk some common misconceptions and reveal why Monaco is much more than a stereotype. Let's start with one of the most persistent myths about Monaco, that its economy is powered by its famous Monte-Carlo casino. When you hear Monaco, you might picture glittering slot machines, high-stakes poker tables, and glamorous figures straight out of a James Bond film. The Monte-Carlo casino is iconic, no doubt, and it's easy to assume that it's the financial engine of the nation. After all, gambling has a reputation for generating big money, and Monaco's casino is one of the most famous in the world. But here's the surprising truth. The Monte Carlo casino contributes only about 3% of Monaco's government revenue in a given year. To understand why this is significant, let's consider what Monaco needs to function as a nation. Despite its small size, Monaco provides some of the most advanced public services in the world. It has the highest number of police officers per capita, ensuring that its streets are among the safest anywhere. Its public transportation system is efficient and modern, with buses and even a train connecting the entire nation seamlessly. The healthcare system is state-of-the-art, offering residents access to cutting-edge medical care. And let's not forget the infrastructure, roads, utilities, and public spaces that rival those of major global cities. All of this comes at a cost, and it's not a small one. Monaco is the most expensive country on earth when it comes to real estate. A single square meter of land can cost tens of thousands of euros, and apartments in prime locations often sell for tens of millions. Building and maintaining a country in such an expensive environment requires significant funding. The Monte-Carlo casino generates substantial revenue, hundreds of millions of euros annually, but it's nowhere near enough to cover the costs of Monaco's high-end public services. So if the casino isn't the golden goose, where does Monaco get its money? The answer lies in a clever and often misunderstood taxation system. Now, when you hear Monaco, you might think tax haven. It's a label that gets thrown around a lot, conjuring images of secretive offshore accounts, hidden wealth, and shady financial dealings. Monaco is often lumped in with places like the Cayman Islands, Bermuda, or Panama, jurisdictions known for their lax tax laws and financial privacy. But is Monaco really a tax haven in the way we typically think? The answer is more nuanced than you might expect, and it starts with understanding how Monaco taxes its residents and visitors. Contrary to popular belief, Monaco does have taxes. That's right, Monaco is not a tax-free paradise. The key is that it has the right kind of taxes for its unique population and economic model. The backbone of Monaco's government revenue is a value-added tax, or VAT, set at 19.6%. For those unfamiliar, a VAT is a consumption tax applied to the purchase price of goods and services. It's similar to a sales tax in some countries, but it's embedded in the price of nearly everything you buy, from clothing to dining to luxury goods. Let's break this down with an example. Imagine you're shopping in Monaco's famous Avenue Princess Grace, one of the most exclusive shopping streets in the world. You spot a pair of designer shoes, let's say they cost $10,000, which, believe it or not, is not uncommon in Monaco. When you go to checkout, you'll pay an additional 19.6% in VAT, which comes to 1,960. So your total bill is 11,960. That's a significant tax, and it applies to everything from a cup of coffee to a multi-million euro yacht. In fact, Monaco's VAT rate is one of the highest in the world, comparable to countries like Hungary or Denmark. Now, you might be thinking, wait a minute, if Monaco is a haven for millionaires and billionaires, why would they put up with such a high tax on their purchases? This is where Monaco's tax system gets really interesting. It's designed to favor the ultra-wealthy in a way that's different from most countries. To understand why, we need to talk about the difference between progressive and regressive tax systems. In most countries, income taxes are progressive. This means that the more you earn, the higher your tax rate. For example, in the United States, someone earning $500,000 a year might pay 37% of their income in federal taxes, while someone earning $50,000 might pay only 22%. The idea is that higher earners can afford to contribute a larger share to society. Progressive taxes are common in developed nations, and they're designed to reduce income inequality by placing a heavier burden on the wealthy. Monaco, however, takes a different approach. It has no personal income tax at all. Zero, nada. This is a huge draw for the world's richest people. Instead of taxing income, Monaco relies heavily on its VAT, which is a regressive tax. A regressive tax takes a larger percentage of income from lower earners than from higher earners. At first glance, this might seem unfair. Why would a country tax the poor more heavily? But in Monaco, this system works because the average resident is extraordinarily wealthy. Let's illustrate this with a hypothetical example. Picture two families living in Monaco. Family A is a middle-class household, by global standards, not Monaco's, earning $100,000 a year. Family B is a wealthy household, earning $1,000 a year, which is more typical in Monaco. Now let's look at their spending habits. Family A with their $100,000 income might spend about $50,000 a year on living expenses. This includes groceries, utilities, school fees, transportation, and maybe the occasional night out. All of these purchases are subject to that 19.6% VAT. So, Family A pays around $8,450 in VAT annually. That's 8.5% of their total income, which is a significant chunk. Now let's look at Family B, the millionaires. They're likely to live a much more extravagant lifestyle. They might spend $200,000 a year on high-end dining, private schools, luxury cars, and maintaining a lavish home, their VAT bill comes to about $33,800. That's a lot more in absolute terms, but here's the key. It's only 3.4% of their total income. This is why Monaco's tax system is so appealing to the wealthy. In a progressive tax system, family B might pay 30–50% of their income in taxes, hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars. In Monaco, they pay zero income tax and only a small fraction of their wealth in VAT, even if they're buying supercars, designer wardrobes, or multi-million euro apartments. For the ultra-rich, an extra few thousand euros on a luxury purchase is a small price to pay when they're saving millions in income taxes. It's a trade-off that makes Monaco a financial paradise for billionaires, CEOs, and celebrities. But the VAT system isn't just about taxing residents. Monaco's economy gets a massive boost from its tourist population. Every year, Monaco welcomes about 9 tourists for every resident. That's an astonishing ratio, only surpassed by Vatican City, which is a unique case due to its religious significance. These visitors, whether they're day trippers from nearby France, cruise ship passengers, or jet-setters attending the Monaco Grand Prix, spend heavily on hotels, dining, shopping, and entertainment. And every time they do, they're contributing to that 19.6% VAT. Let's paint a picture. Imagine a tourist visiting Monaco for the Formula One Grand Prix, one of the most prestigious events in motorsport. They book a suite at the Hôtel de Paris, a 5-star landmark overlooking the casino. They dine at Le Louis XIV, a 3 Michelin star restaurant where a single meal can cost hundreds of euros. They might splurge on a designer watch from Cartier or a bottle of vintage Dom Pérignon from a luxury wine shop. Each of these transactions adds to Monaco's coffers through VAT. Now, multiply that by millions of visitors each year, over 300,000 in a typical year, and you start to see how Monaco sustains its economy without relying on income taxes. In fact, more than half of Monaco's VAT revenue comes from non-residents. This is a brilliant strategy. Tourists don't earn income in Monaco, so they can't be taxed on income. But they do spend money, and every euro they spend helps fund the nation's infrastructure, services, and security. It's a system that capitalizes on Monaco's status as a global luxury destination, turning every tourist into an unwitting contributor to the national budget. Now let's address the elephant in the room, the tax haven label. Monaco is often lumped in with places like the British Virgin Islands, Bermuda, or Panama, jurisdictions known for offshore financial services, shell companies, and lax regulations. But is this comparison fair? The answer is no, and here's why. Unlike traditional tax havens, Monaco doesn't play the same financial shell games. Many tax havens allow companies to set up shell corporations or trusts that obscure ownership and help evade taxes in other countries. These jurisdictions often offer secretive banking services, making it easy for individuals or companies to hide wealth from tax authorities. Monaco, however, has stricter regulations. It doesn't facilitate the registration of offshore corporations designed to dodge taxes elsewhere, and it doesn't offer the kind of opaque financial services associated with places like the Cayman Islands. This distinction is crucial. Monaco's financial system is more transparent than those of typical tax havens. It complies with international standards on financial reporting and anti-money laundering, and it works closely with organizations like the OECD to maintain a reputation for legitimacy. While Monaco certainly benefits from its tax-friendly policies, it's not a place where the world's elite can hide their money in secret accounts. Instead, it's a place where they can live openly, enjoying their wealth in a safe, luxurious, and prestigious environment. So, why do so many of the world's richest people choose to call Monaco home? It's not just about the taxes, although those are a huge draw. Monaco offers a lifestyle that's hard to match anywhere else. Let's take a moment to imagine life in Monaco. You wake up in a multi-million euro apartment with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the Mediterranean. You step out onto your balcony, sipping an espresso as you watch super yachts glide into the harbor. You head to a cafe in the heart of Monte-Carlo where you're surrounded by the who's who of the business world, tech moguls, Formula One drivers, and movie stars, all mingling in an atmosphere of effortless glamour. Monaco is a place where every day feels like an event. You might attend the Monaco Yacht Show where the world's most luxurious vessels are on display, or perhaps you're at the Monte-Carlo Opera, enjoying a performance in a historic theater dripping with opulence. The annual Monaco Grand Prix transforms the streets into a high-speed racetrack, drawing crowds from around the globe. And let's not forget the charity balls. art galas, and exclusive parties that define Monaco's social scene. It's a networking hotbed, where the rich and powerful come together to forge connections, close deals, and shape industries. But it's not just about glitz and glamour. Monaco is also one of the safest places on earth. With the highest number of police officers per capita and advanced security systems, the crime rate is virtually non-existent. For billionaires who value privacy and safety, this is a huge draw. Add to that the Mediterranean climate, sunny skies, mild winters, and stunning coastal views, and you have a place that ticks every box for the ultra-wealthy. To understand why Monaco has become this way, let's take a brief detour into its history. Monaco's transformation into a global luxury hub began in the 19th century under the rule of Prince Charles III. At the time, Monaco was a small, relatively poor principality struggling to sustain itself. In 1863, Charles III opened the Monte-Carlo casino, hoping to attract wealthy visitors and boost the economy. It worked, perhaps too well. The casino drew aristocrats, industrialists, and adventurers from across Europe, turning Monaco into a destination for the elite. Over the decades, Monaco built on this foundation, investing in infrastructure, tourism, and real estate. By the 20th century, it had become a symbol of wealth and sophistication. The Grimaldi family, Monaco's ruling dynasty, played a key role in this transformation, promoting the nation as a haven for luxury and culture. Today, under Prince Albert II, Monaco continues to balance tradition with modernity, maintaining its status as a global icon while adapting to the demands of a 21st century economy. Let's zoom out for a moment and consider what Monaco's economy teaches us. At its core, Monaco is a masterclass in economic strategy. It's a tiny nation that has leveraged its unique position, geographically, culturally, and financially, to create extraordinary wealth. The high VAT ensures steady revenue, the lack of income tax attracts wealthy residents, and the tourist influx keeps the economy humming. It's a delicate balance, but Monaco has mastered it. For students of economics, Monaco offers valuable lessons. It shows how a country can use regressive taxation to its advantage, particularly when its population is predominantly wealthy. It demonstrates the power of tourism as an economic driver, especially when paired with a luxury brand, and it highlights the importance of safety, infrastructure, and lifestyle in attracting high net worth individuals. Monaco isn't just a place, it's a carefully crafted economic model that other nations study with envy. To put Monaco's success in perspective, let's compare it to other small nations. Take Liechtenstein, another wealthy microstate in Europe. Like Monaco, Liechtenstein has a favorable tax system and attracts wealthy residents, but it lacks Monaco's coastal allure and global brand recognition. Or consider Singapore, a larger city-state known for its economic prowess. Singapore has a low-tax environment and a thriving financial sector, but it relies heavily on industry and trade, whereas Monaco leans on tourism and luxury. Each of these places has carved out a niche, but Monaco's focus on exclusivity and prestige sets it apart. As we near the end of our journey, let's reflect on what makes Monaco truly unique. It's not just the absence of income tax or the glittering casino, it's the way Monaco has woven together history, geography, and economics to create a place that's unlike anywhere else. It's a nation where the streets are as clean as a five-star hotel, where the police presence ensures safety at every turn, and where the lifestyle is a magnet for the world's elite. Monaco isn't just a country, it's a vision of what wealth can be when it's paired with strategy and ambition. Before we wrap up, I want to connect with you, the audience. If you're as fascinated by economics as I am, Monaco is a case study worth exploring further. It's a place that challenges our assumptions about wealth, taxation, and prosperity. If you want to dive deeper, I recommend checking out Making Monte-Carlo, A History of Speculation and Spectacle by Mark Broad. It's a fantastic book that traces the history of Monaco's rise to fame, from its humble beginnings to its modern-day status as a global icon. And if you're excited about economics, let's keep the conversation going. I've recently started a Discord server where we can discuss topics like this, share ideas, and even brainstorm future content. It's still in its early stages, so bear with me. I'm learning how to manage it. You can find the link in the description below. Feel free to join, ask questions, or throw out some friendly debates about tax policy or economic theory. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you enjoyed this deep dive, please consider liking, subscribing, and leaving a comment. Your feedback helps shape what we cover next, whether it's another microstate, a global superpower, or a big idea in economics. So, there you have it. The story of Monaco, a tiny nation that defies expectations and redefines what it means to be wealthy. It's not just a casino or a tax haven, it's a masterclass in economic strategy, blending luxury, tourism, and smart taxation to create a prosperity that's unmatched anywhere else. From its high VAT to its tourist-driven revenue to its unparalleled lifestyle, Monaco shows us what's possible when a nation plays to its strengths. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the glittering streets of Monte-Carlo. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep asking the big questions about how our world works. Thanks for joining us. Like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more deep dives. See you soon.